In the last few decades, the number of filmmaking cameras has increased staggeringly. But very few of them could actually make a mark and revolutionize the whole film industry. You would certainly find impressive cameras from different manufacturers, but they are far from game-changing. So in our video today, we're going to talk about some of the groundbreaking cameras that become pioneers of newer innovations. The first on our list is a truly revolutionary camera that changed the way we see films today. Imagine going to a cinema hall to watch your favorite movie just to find out it's the wrong film size. This didn't happen, right? All credit goes to the Bell & Howell 2709, launched in 1912 by Bell & Howell, for coming up with the idea of universal film size, the standard 35mm, which we are used to watching. This new format, used to film Charlie Chaplin's iconic comedy series, gained much popularity across the entire motion picture industry. The camera was not only famous for having a specific film width, but also it was the first ever camera to feature a full metal body. Combining these two factors, by the year 1919, almost every production throughout Hollywood started using Bell & Howell. Though the new 35mm width brought up great revolution, still it was hard to go for such cameras, as they were pretty expensive at that time. So, independent and aspiring filmmakers couldn't think of making films due to expensive costing. Here's where Bolex, which was used by avant-garde filmmakers to create films like Meshes of the Afternoon in 1943, Sleep in 1963, and Galaxy in 1966, came into play. The company had been making film cameras since the late 1920s. It was in the early 40s when they made a breakthrough with their H16. The Bolex H16 was introduced in 1935 and was manufactured by Payard Bolex in Switzerland. Though the H16 had 16mm films, it could quite well resemble the actual 35mm motion pictures. Even with such a low cost, the H16 was able to rival famous 35mm cameras and became an instant hit among independent filmmakers. Countless music videos, documentaries, and indie films were shot with this amazing camera. Even Steven Spielberg and Darren Aronofsky, two of the most iconic filmmakers of all time, used it.
Are you struggling to explain your idea? Your audience is not getting what you're trying to say. An animated explainer video is a perfect solution for you. Explainer video simplifies any complex ideas through engaging animations, transitions, voiceovers, and meaningful scripts, which all together create a fun experience for any viewer. And here comes 10 Studio, a team of skilled professionals dedicated to creating engaging explainer videos. With over thousands completed projects, we have the expertise to create explainer videos that break down your message and connect with your audience. Get in touch with 10 Studio today.
While the DSLR cameras started to close the gap between themselves and 35mm film, they were still not ideal for shooting professional-grade films on large-scale sets. Besides, DSLRs lacked some basic video and audio functionalities. As a result, well-funded independent productions needed to choose between dealing with the shortcomings of a DSLR or shooting film and trying not to blow their budget. Solving all these problems, Red Digital Cinema introduced its very first flagship camera, the RedOne. The RedOne was launched in 2007 and manufactured in Foothill Ranch, California, by Red Digital Cinema, an American company specializing in digital cinematography. It was the first camera to bring up RAW and 4K to a striking distance for lots of independent filmmakers on a budget. It also offered higher frame rates and incredible low-light performance. With the RedOne, a new age of digital filming age was unveiled, inspiring lots of independent and individual filmmakers to pursue their careers. Some of the famous movies that were shot with the RedOne camera include The Gamer, The Perfect Host, Christopher Roth, and ATM. Another revolutionary camera that actually was able to break the limits of shooting was the IMAX, and it was first brought to the audience in early 70s. Did you know that the first IMAX film ever made was called Tiger Child? It was shown at Expo 70 in Osaka, Japan, and used a groundbreaking process that involved just one projector, one camera, and a single large format screen. The technology was so impressive that in 1971, the first IMAX theater system was set up in Toronto at Ontario Place. If we compare the shooting size of an IMAX camera, it will be equivalent to a digital 12K image, and almost 3 times larger than that of the standard 70mm film sizes. Undoubtedly, it was way ahead of its time, and was set back by the lackings of technology at that time. For such a large-sized resolution, filmmakers could shoot only a limited amount of footage before running out of storage. Therefore, these IMAX cameras were mostly used for shooting documentaries for certain purposes. But with the progress of technology, a few well-known movies were shot by the IMAX, the first being Apollo 13. Later on, a few parts of The Dark Knight, Star Wars: The Force Awakens made it to the IMAX screen. Even the recently released Avengers: Infinity War is the first ever full-length movie shot entirely in IMAX. Another revolutionary camera that actually was able to break the limits of shooting was the IMAX, and it was first brought to the audience in early 70s. Did you know that the first IMAX film ever made was called Tiger Child? It was shown at Expo 70 in Osaka, Japan, and used a